Good morning, everybody. My name is Crystal, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. I'm here in my flat in Rochester. I've woken up. It's 8:30 at the moment. So usual time I wake up is between 7:30 and 8. So I've just made myself a cup of Earl Grey tea. I'm going to drink that in a moment. It's foggy today. Foggy and damp and wet outside, so we've had some misty fog. So the weather is damp, dreary and foggy here in Rochester, UK. Alexa, good morning.
Michael Fish assured viewers that reports of an incoming hurricane were false. The biggest storm in 300 years hit the UK later that day. Whoops.
Alexa, what's the time, please?
Good morning, Crystal. It's 8:31 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Tuesday the 15th of October.
Alexa, what's the weather?
Right now in Rochester, it's 11 degrees Celsius with cloudy skies. Today's forecast has overcast weather, with a high of 16 degrees and a low of 11 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
What does a sprinter eat before a race? Nothing. They fast.
Alexa, whose birthday is it today?
Today's famous birthdays include American actor Noel Guglielmi, English boxer Anthony Joshua, American baseball player Jack Flaherty, Scottish actor, born in Rwandan Ncuti Gatwa, and English film, television, and theatre actor Dominic West.
So good morning, everybody. So I woke up this morning and it was a bit chilly, so I put the heating on, but because I sleep with the window open, so I shut the window, put the heating on, and it heated up in here within 5-10 minutes, which is good. Yeah, I sleep with the window open because I feel like I can't breathe in here. So I got up, I've made my tea, and it is foggy, misty, like low visibility. Last night I went for a walk, usual time, around 7. I'd missed all my mum's phone calls. I think she called me about 3 times yesterday. Does get very isolating feeling at night time, and some of the films they are putting on Netflix are quite gory and quite suicide themed. I don't know why, but they are. A lot of it's suicide themed, and I think I've charged up my tablet, so just get it on my cup of char. Just going to turn the camera into another direction because I think my dog wants to sit there. Max wants to sit there, so let's let Max sit there. He wants to sit where I was sat. He always does that. Now my cat's coming over. So, just want to read out the film that I watched yesterday with Tom Hanks in. Tom Hanks is an American actor. He's a very good actor. He starred in some brilliant films. This was a 2022 film I watched on Netflix last night. A Man Called Otto. 2 hours 6 minutes long. A Man Called Otto. And that's where I left off, where he collapsed on the street. watch it, the rest of it, last night before I went to bed because I was charging my tablet and it switches off otherwise. So let's go back. I'm trying to get information about it. Into the films. A Man Called Otto is #1 top 10 films in the UK today. Enraged by the world and hardened by grief, a cranky retiree plots his own demise, but is foiled when a lively young family bursts into his life. Tom Hanks. #2022, #1 in films today. It does have references to suicide. I found it's a very intelligent film. It's worth being #1, but if you are depressed and obviously have suicidal thoughts, I would, it's American and they must have guns in America, obviously, so I'm just saying, if you're depressed, it's not a film that you should watch if you're depressed, that's all. I was feeling a bit shitty yesterday. I mean, my mood fluctuates. So I've just been diagnosed with depression and anxiety. So, and I'm also very, very sensitive, and what would upset me wouldn't upset anybody else, because when I was a little girl, my dad he called me all sorts of names under the sun. He said, "You're a dummy, you're thick, you're stupid." Telling a 5, 6, 7-year-old child they're a dummy, they're stupid, they're a spastic. I mean, he wouldn't have got away with saying things like that in this day and age. You're not allowed to call people spastics. They've changed this. They used to call it the spastic shop when I was a little girl. My dad used to call me a spastic. He was a psychopath. He was a violent, cruel, sadistic, wicked, evil man, and he was allowed to bring me up, and I witnessed not only abuse to myself but abuse to my mother, violent abuse that a child should never watch or see, and some people thought it was funny. My father used to beat up my mum in the local park and hit her with cider bottles, and I would witness that, and adults would see it. No one would go for help for my mum, and she'd come home bruised, start crying. It caused her to have a mental illness. Of course it did. If you keep getting repeatedly hit and beaten and no one helps you, it can drive you loopy. So my mother was in and out of mental hospitals, and I was left alone with my dad, and he used to try, he knew I was his daughter, but he the only one word for it, my father was a paedophile. A hell of a time growing up in that environment, and then going to school and get bullied because my father had threatened me, if I spoke or talked to anybody, he would kill me and my mother. So basically I went to school and I wouldn't speak, and the school thought I was deaf, so they sent me for hearing tests. And I wasn't deaf, I was frightened to speak. My dad had literally frightened me to death. and stopped me from speaking. So the children at school made fun of me because I wouldn't speak. Not because I was shy, not because I was deaf, because my father had threatened to kill me if I told people what he was doing to me. I had an awful time at school, really awful, horrendous time. And my dad called me a dummy because I wouldn't speak. And why wouldn't I speak? Because I was frightened of my father. He used to beat me till I wet myself when I was small. I would run away from him. Social services would come out, do nothing. Police would come out, do fuck all. And then if the police were called out, my dad would beat my mother again after they'd left and done nothing. Today I'm still stuck in a prison because sexual abuse, I don't feel that you ever recover. I mean, I found my voice when I was in my late 30s. I had a traumatic marriage. I've been through relationships where men, because of the shit I suffered as a kid, and I'm really, really soft and I like to try and please people in relationships, men have taken advantage of me. Some of them have hit me, pushed me about, told me what to do, obviously cheated on me, treated me like shite. So at the moment, the best thing to do for me is to be by myself. And when children witness a father beating a mother or vice versa, the children can get aggressive. They learn the violent behaviour from the abusive parent. So they will then hit, they will watch daddy or mummy hit the partner, and the children will copy. They will copy the violent parent's behaviour. So not only have you got your partner on you, you can have your kids hitting you as well. It's a horrible situation to be in, and with no help and support it's even worse. And what you find is that the spouse that is violent will hide what they're doing and tell social services that it's the victim's fault. And the victim can lose the house, the children, everything, because the spouse has lied to social services. And they're very, very convincing. If you watch films on serial killers, murderers, rapists, when they're being interviewed, some of them just will not accept what they've done. They will not say sorry, and to the very end they will say they haven't done it when they have, because they're psychopaths. They don't have the capability to admit that they're wrong. But, you know, people should be trained. Men go through it, women go through it, partners that are abusive, they convince social services that they are, I've seen it myself. This guy suffered domestic abuse from his wife for 20 years. 20 years. Right? They convince authorities that they're fine, there's nothing wrong with them, it's the victim's fault. And then the victim, you know, like I said, I lost absolutely everything. The roof off my head, the clothes off my back. I don't appreciate being laughed at. I don't give a fuck if people do. I was humiliated every day of my school life by fucking bullies that didn't understand what was going on in my life. Even the fucking teachers who should have picked up on it. but they never did, and they couldn't give a shit. My mum was so controlled, but I didn't have a mother when I was a child. But she did what my father said. I mean, if he told her to stick me in a dark room with a hood over my head, she would have done it because she was scared of my father. So I didn't have a mum bringing me up. I didn't. And half the time she was in and out of hospitals because he beat the shit out of her and she fucking went mental. It's disgusting, and no one will accept the responsibility. No one apologised, and now they're trying to make out that I'm a loony. Me. And meanwhile, paedophiles continue to do what they do, don't they? They continue to do it. My father's dead now. But how long did they let him get away with that behaviour, like they did Jimmy Savile and others on the BBC? Hugh Edwards, it makes me so angry. Hugh Edwards walks free of that court. A newsreader. If we don't punish these people, they will continue to do it. And other people think, well, he got away with it, so can I. You know what I mean? It makes me so angry. What is going on with this country? I bought the newspaper yesterday. They've let somebody off. Another person. Reading the Daily Mail yesterday, right? I always get the Daily Mail. It's a better read than the Sun. Well, it's hard to. Is it fiction or is it real? It's hard to tell some of the stories. E-biker, 65, who left boy aged 2 with stitches to his head, is let off by the police. An e-bike rider who left a 2-year-old boy needing more than a dozen stitches to his forehead has been let off by the police. Remember that my mum lost a baby called Dylan. My mother Jennifer lost a baby called Dylan when he was 2 months old. My mum reads the newspapers. She hasn't got a TV set, and I think that's good in a way, because I've seen some things on the TV that would upset my mum. So they just take the fucking piss, don't they? So remember, my mum lost a baby called Dylan. So Dylan Latham, Martin Latham was I don't know if he still is now, was a head teacher at my children's school when they were young. Martin Latham. So Dylan Latham was taken to hospital after being hit by the female cyclist, 65, on a public footpath at a playing field. The rider fled the scene, leading police to issue an appeal to trace her, but officers decided not to pursue a criminal case after she later came forward. The child's mother is now calling for tougher laws for the battery-powered bikes. So my mum lost a baby called Dylan when he was 2 months old. I told you that she gets upset when there's babies about. Not me. It's me that's had a load of newborn babies, parents with around here. Obviously, there's young couples and they walk their babies around. My mum would get very upset. Not me. I've had 4 children. They're all grown up now. They're nearly 30. at least 2 of them. So the newspapers can be wicked. Keir Starmer laughing on the front page yesterday. It's all very funny, isn't it? What's gone on to me, my mum and other people that have gone on through sexual, child abuse, paedophilia when they were young. Seeing that on the front paper makes them feel a whole load better. There's thousands and thousands of children abused every day. Thousands of them. Some of them make that call to Childline. Some of them get help, some of them don't. Some of them die, never discovered. It's about time we stop to these paedophiles getting away with this behaviour and stop letting, people like working for the BBC get off charges. We need to protect our future generation. We need to protect children. And right now, this country is unsafe, in my opinion.